Hi, good morning, everyone on the internet.
Good morning.
Me and my partner, we're going to start putting videos out, um, talking about a wide range of current topics and I don't know, what do you want to say? Maybe news from the internet. I think 2020. What is it? We're in August, so it's the year 2020, and
A
there's a
lot
lot
of
of
things have happened this year. Um, we started off with 2020, New Year, New Me type of energy, and then Corona hit in springtime.
yeah. The Corona came. Everyone knows about the virus. It changed, I think, the world as we knew it,
Yeah,
similar to, and I'm just going to say this, I mean, because I remember it, and it changed the world like 9/11. nine
yeah.
eleven hit, and all of a sudden you couldn't get on a plane without like taking
Your
off your
way of life
shoes. And
changed.
yeah, like looking at people came, differently, where now you're suspicious maybe of your neighbors and stuff, or like heightened tension, But I do remember also around 9/11, because I was old enough to remember, there was like a unifying presence. Like everyone put down
Because we
their,
were attacked. Because, like, our country, was attacked. So there
yes,
was this unifying feeling
yeah,
underneath that.
this musketeer, one for all for one, kind of like united we stand. I
Yeah.
think was the crying, the rallying cry, and
And this pandemic has come at a time where we have a lot of political unrest. This year is an election year.
excuse me, yes,
This year is an election year. And with this coming at the time it did, it's like Biden v. Trump at the moment. Oh, how funny.
yeah. So we're in a weird time now. Excuse me. Well, coughing unrelated to the corona, but we're in a weird time. I mean, so President Trump is the president, and so I remember when he was the guy on Apprentice who was saying, you're fired, and then so I mean he's kind of stuck to that. He's fired a lot of people in his administration, and it kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too political because we're going to be on the interwebs, but we're pretty smart. We read a lot of news from different places. I mean, I'm constantly bouncing around from all the different major media, I guess suppliers on the internet. Like, I try not to go too blue or red. I try to read a little bit of both and a little bit of everything, and some conspiracy theories in between. We'll talk about a little bit of everything in these different videos. So I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Let's just get that straight. They don't belong in this world. They're like from some other world. They're like alien tech that just scrambles people's brains. What do you think? How
What do I
how
think about conspiracy
well, like,
theories?
how what do you think
It's
about
like,
people who are just head over heels
okay, I
in
have a
love with
theory.
like a theory? All
I
right,
have a
what?
theory.
Let's go. Let's hear it. Let's hear this theory.
My theory is that people that are in these, like, embedded in these deep conspiracy theories, it's hitting on something in their psyche. It must, for it to be so dominant. It's like they want to get to the bottom of something, right? But maybe it's the bottom of something within themselves. Okay, so that psychobabble aside, I also wanted to say in every conspiracy there may be some truth, but there are aspects of it that get distorted because attempts to fill in. And
So do you think there's I think a sliver of truth
sure.
in every conspiracy theory I hear. I can hear the truth. It's like one
Mm-hmm.
sentence. If a conspiracy theory is like 10 pages long, there's like one sentence in there that's like very true. Like, let's just say JFK was assassinated. That's real.
Period.
Period. That's real. And then there's 20 more pages of like, well, who assassinated him? Well, I mean, okay, so what's your conspiracy? It's like, what's your theory, right? Everyone
Mm-hmm.
has thoughts. Everyone has, their own 2 cents. You get to put it in.
Yeah, and
So,
everyone's thoughts coming out, it creates this, like, consensus in, like, different consensuses in the subconscious, right?
sure, how come
Or
there's not
collective.
more conspiracy theories? Like, how come everyone just isn't just freaking out all the time,
Hmm.
just like losing their mind? Like, ants are crawling around outside eating everything I'm throwing outside. Like, this is a crazy
Yeah.
thing. These little, what are they, like, imagine if we were just like freaking out about those things that fly in the sky and they crow at night and I don't know what they are. Like, we live in a world where we have kind of this, like, I don't know. I don't want to say like stupidity about us, where we could just go about do 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 do.
Innocence. I'll
Oh, there's
call
a
it
house on fire. It's
innocence.
like, oh, let's take a picture. I'm gonna do a selfie,
And
and
that's
and
where,
then not
like,
think about the people burning. It's
and
or
that's the
like
fucked
things
up thing.
happening, or
That's new though, right? To some degree.
the selfie getting famous. I mean, we're
Yeah.
putting this on the internet, but it's
It's
a
more
thing of
worth
like,
it to stand there and record it and put it online and become a viral video than it is to engage as a citizen, to put it down to engage,
maybe to put your phone down instead of recording the man on fire and throw some water on him,
or the
put him out.
man getting melt on his neck.
Oh, geez. Okay, so yeah, we're in a world where Black lives do matter, and also I want to say that for anyone who says all lives matter, it's a thing of checking that. It's saying like, okay, look, do Black lives matter? Just period. Do they? Yes. Okay. Like, that
Black
needs
Lives
to
Matter.
be acknowledged. That
Yeah.
needs to be accomplished, because there's a thing of throwaway lives that I think is very real in a society. I mean, it goes back generations. It's like a human element that is brought, I think, like by, like, I don't know, let's just say barbarianism, or like
Mm-hmm.
our cavemen inside us. There's a psyche that comes deep, and it's like fear based. And so if you could get past that and like this higher awareness and this higher consciousness, I think you can accept things like, oh yes, of course Black lives matter. Why wouldn't they matter? And then there's people who are like, oh well, my life matters, and maybe they're not black, and they're just thinking, well, why does someone else's life matter more than mine?
And
And
it's not about that.
it's not about that. I think there's this mentality of like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
And once you let that go and you actually start embracing, I mean, we've grown up in different households, but I grew up very religious, and it becomes a thing of like accepting religion and being like okay with everything you're told, or rejecting it and being like, you know what, I want to see what else is out there. I want to experience more religion, or like more spirituality, or like I'll ask a question about God and someone says it's in the Bible, just shut up and read it, or whatever. You get into the attention of people, and you ask them a question, like, let's say someone of high religious knowledge, and you don't accept their answer. Like, I was growing up a little kid, and they would tell me things, God's up there, and God's hanging out, and just pray to him and things will work out. And it was like, okay, cool, how did we get here? And they were just like, things will work out, you just pray, you don't ask questions. Faith. So I think faith is very real. I think believing in things is very real. Let's maybe you could talk about that a little bit. So my girlfriend is here, and she's sitting to the chair next to me right over there. We're just in our apartment, we're hanging loose, and I want to hear from her. How you doing there, baby?
I'm doing real well. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, and you started talking about spirituality, and I guess I started to go off in my own kind of history about it. Um, you said that you grew up in a household where people would tell you to just read it, it's in the Bible, or that, what was
Well, I grew up. I grew up in a. Well, I'll just say it, a Catholic family. I went to a Catholic school for 8 years, from first grade all the way up until the eighth grade. With the teachings, we had like a religious class. We had like church every day or every other day, or we went definitely every Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was an altar boy. I was like really deep in there. And it was nice. I would kneel, I would pray, I would listen to all the teachings, and they would say things like, God said this and Jesus did that, and I would be like, really? I would be like, that is very interesting. I was like, what else did God say? What else did Jesus do? And they'd be like, that's about it. You don't need to really know more. And I'd be like, I don't, there was a thing of like the knowledge was limited. I would be like, so how come people don't live like the way Jesus taught? And they're like
Mm.
teaching me these things. And so I learned very, very early, like, love your neighbor, something like that, right? Love your
Yeah.
neighbor as yourself, and then love yourself. And then it's like, that's cool. What else did Jesus teach? And they're like, he broke bread. He turned wine into water. And it's like, oh, cool. And then, I mean, that whole thing about loving yourself and loving your neighbor is pretty good. And they're like, he brought Lazarus back from the dead. He rose on the third day. He was crucified. And it's like, oh man, what was he crucified for? All of your sins. And it was like, all of our sins? That sounds terrible. And it's like, yeah. And then we drew pictures of it, and it's painted all over the walls of this church. And then the church is just Jesus slowly dying, and the 12 stations of the cross. So I'm a little kid, and I'm wondering what the hell is going on around here. And I'm just like, so what about the love? What about the Jesus love? And they're like, God hates sinners. Do you know about Noah? And I'm just like, no. I'm a kid. Who's Noah? They're like, he was almost drowned. He took all the animals. And it's like, he took all the animals. So yeah, I mean, it gets intense. Things are taught to you like this. This really happened, and you're like, it really happened, and they're like, no, it didn't really happen, but it might have. I just didn't understand. I mean, like, did it really happen, or I mean, did Moses free his people from what, the Egyptians or something? And they're like, mm-hmm. And I'm just, I don't really know what's up. I don't really know. We got a little baby kitty, but I mean, you might hear him crying. We're giving him milk. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in our life, and if you stick around, you subscribe. I mean, I hope you're watching this channel. I don't know. We're trying to make a channel, me and my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be off screen, and maybe I'll be on screen. Maybe I should move my fingers a little more, like just get some action. But we're hoping that you're enjoying this, and I mean, let's get back right into it. Let's get back into it. 2020 election. Who are you voting for? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm sure you could guess who we're voting for. We'll pretend and we'll make it like unofficial. We're independent though. We are super fucking independent. That's the thing. Whenever I would like register, it's what are you, Republican or Democrat? And I'd be like, I'm independent. They'd be like, oh boo, oh go home, don't even vote. And I'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have a mind. I'm sorry I have an opinion. And then when it turns out, you shake me down to the core, and I'm a little bit of everything. I'm fucking, it's whatever I'm taught. It's like I believe in stuff. So the things I believe in are just like, freedom of state, right? And that's like a real Republican thing. But then also you have government, and then also the people need help. So it's like all these little things you could cherry pick, right? And so being a democracy, and then also being a capitalist country, it's this like weird mix of things. And so right now we're at 2020 where people, or maybe their heads are spinning, and it's like, fuck, I just want the head spinning to stop. Can I sit down? Can I get a drink of water? And then it's like, no drink of water. Have you ever heard of a fire tornado? There's killer bees coming, and then there's even more killer wasps coming, and it's like everything's coming to kill us, dog, and then so it's like a thing of like the smog, the air is bad, and then it's like all these things, where it's like deaths are up, whatever kind, and then corona, and it's like, okay,
I was
cool.
looking on YouTube today, and I was scrolling down. There's like this row that's like coronavirus. It's like just coronavirus like videos, and I noticed something this morning. It's like the first video is like the death count is higher than before, and then it's like, oh no, and then the next day I'm like, the death count is rising higher than before, and it's like, oh no, it's like,
sure. Well, I mean, the deaths are going up. The deaths are going up because
like,
people are not like, okay, if you don't know anyone who's died of corona yet, I mean, give it time. It's a sad fate that people are facing, and then people are like, okay, so people are dying already all the time. It's like, cancer, right? Car accidents, fucking whatever it is, drinking, whatever it is, drugs, prescription. There's just everything is killing us. Eating, the food's killing us. Water. Now water's killing us. Now it's everything everything's killing us. So then when do we live?
Yeah, that's a weird
When
fear
do we
mentality.
fucking live? Yeah. I mean, where's the Jesus? Where's the love in society? Where's the like your neighbor and love your neighbor?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like all these teachings of Jesus. But then when it comes to actually living, we're like, fuck you, fuck you. And it's like, oh, God, dude, when can we be like, okay, no more fuck you. How about you want to come over for dinner? You know, we're going to fucking be
Yeah.
barbecuing. Like, what's going on with the fucking world where we're all fucking looking over our fence and it's like, no, fuck you, hurry up. I got a place to go. I got places to go. And I used to be a driver, a ride share driver in Los Angeles. And let me just say, like, people are in a rush. They want to get to places. They want to hurry up with their life, but they're worried. They're stressed out. So like, where are they rushing to? They're rushing. They're rushing. They're rushing. There's something I think about stopping and smelling the roses. Let's just touch on that. What do you think of slowing down in life? Maybe disconnecting from all this noise, societal noise.
It feels lonely in a weird way because when you're plugged into your phone and you're plugged into this space where you're seeing a bunch of different pictures, you're seeing a bunch of different voices and opinions and lives. It's like there's like all of this fullness, even if that comes from news, even if that comes from like a social media. So like to disconnect from that is to like be in touch with the quiet again.
That quiet, that silence. And I mean, we're going to be discussing a lot of topics, and this video is actually going a little bit long, so it's going to take a while to upload on
It's
our
like almost like
YouTubes.
vertigo to reality. You know, it's like it only takes a moment.
Vertigo to reality. That's pretty
Yeah.
intense. Yeah. So you get, I mean, I think we're going to be unpacking a lot of things. If you like what you hear, I guess subscribe. Okay, look, we're not getting paid to do this. This is just going to be for fun. We're going to do a bunch of shit for fun. But if you like us, subscribe to us, and you tell your friends, and we all get big, and we make a bunch of money. I'm sending everyone $1. Okay, I swear to God, I'm sending you $1. But I have to get to a point where like YouTube pays for it, and the YouTube will be like, here's $100. I'll be like, $100 is going right back to everyone who's watching. So all right, and then we'll be making more videos, and we'll see
Yeah.
if this posts. All right, please watch, and like,
Bye.
and subscribe.
Bye.
Okay, bye.